So Voruna has just dropped, and as we all know, she is an amazing melee frame. Now I'm going to show you 3 melee weapons that absolutely shred steel paths with her. However, before I get into this video, there are a few disclaimers I'd like to make. Firstly, number 1, I have an invigoration for Voruna where I get 200% critical chance for weapons and then extra energy as well. So you will see some red crits here with these builds, but the synergy and damage will still be more than adequate without this invigoration. So just don't be alarmed if you don't get red crits and you get orange crits instead. Secondly, these are just 3 weapons for Voruna that I'm suggesting. Voruna is a huge melee weapon platform just like Gao, so she makes every melee weapon look good was simply by just putting on condition overload and building for crits, etc, etc. So if you guys have any other suggestions, feel free to comment down below your weapons that you tried. Okay, long intro, let's get into it. Firstly, Naramon equals very good, and power spike maxed means you don't lose all your combo at once for melee, but instead it just reduces it bit by bit. This is an amazing mechanic for Voruna, an amazing mechanic in general when it comes to you playing melee as well and keeping your combo. Weapon number 1, the Cronin Prime. The Cronin Prime with its amazing smooth speed and really high slash attacks, this thing shreds even without Voruna in Steel Path. Remember, Varuna's 2 applies a whole bunch of status effects, so you want to use Varuna's first ability, then press 2 to apply the status effects on that enemy, then armor strip and just go to town while everything gets nuked around you. Rinse and repeat this process, and that's how you play Voruna, and it just shreds everything. All of the footage in this video will be shown in the new Conjunction Survival game mode on Steel Path and the high level mission, which is called Circulus, which starts at level 180 to 200 Steel Path enemy. Here is the build that we run, and with the setup it's pretty much the same throughout all the weapons that I mentioned in this video. You want to go for attack speed like Berserker Fury, then condition overload, then you want some reach for Cronin Prime, Blood Rush for more crit chance, and organ shatter as well. A Bane of choice here works well too, and Gladiator Might, and Drifting Contact. Now this is a flexible slot, so you can go more attack speed, or you can swap this out for the Quickening or Corrupt Charge, whichever one. You play around and you find out what works best for you. There isn't an alternative in the way that you can build this, and this applies to all the builds here that I'm about to show you. You can sacrifice some mods to make viral, so that you apply more viral consistently. Then when you apply Varuna's second ability, you do more slash damage to your enemies instantly, if that makes any sense. So if you already apply viral, you will do more slash damage, and then when you pounce on your enemies and apply more status effects, you will then do more damage in turn, because maybe it will give you a full stack of slash while you've already applied viral, if that makes any sense in my description. Second weapon, Nami Skylar Prime. Holy, does this weapon shred more than it already did without Voruna. Its high attack speed is just amazing, and in fact all the weapons that I'm suggesting in this video have high attack speed, so yeah, it is what it is. Now here is the setup we use, very similar, except we use the sacrificial mods, but pretty much everything is the exact same. Carving Mantis I find to be quite nice to use for the setup. I will show more footage on this weapon in the video later, where I talk about more synergies with Voruna and my final thoughts on her as I played her more and more. Also, before I move on to the next weapon, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Many thanks, my good tenor. Moving on to the third weapon, the Venka Prime, which all I can say is, yeah. Now, how to do this? Simple. Stack up combo, then use your first ability to go invisible, then leap onto enemies applying a lot of status effects, then just melee, and you do huge amounts of damage. This isn't always like this for groups of enemies, but single enemies, yes, it's good for single target, but also you can spin around and kill everything around you. It's brilliant. This is a more close-up and personal weapon and works very well with Voruna. Here is the setup that we run. We run both sacrificial mods, and then we build for viral here to do more damage on slash procs, like I explained in the previous weapon as well, with the whole synergy of you applying viral so that you do more damage instantly. We then go Gladiator Might and Organ Shatter and Berserker Fury for attack speed. An honorable mention here is obviously Varuna's signature weapon, the Sarafang. It obviously works well with her. I don't have it built sadly, but a similar build or heavy attack build variant will work very well with her. Then the Paracesis. Now the Paracesis does big slash damage and kind of nukes when you have the luck of getting 10 virals and 10 slash procs with Varuna's second ability, like demonstrated in the Scriptner Simulacrum, although it's not very consistent if I'm being very honest, but otherwise it's very satisfying to just see everything just suddenly die next to you. So it's pretty cool. from huge amounts of stat box. For my final thoughts about Voruna, here is what I've discovered. She's a good frame, but she has very little room for error because she doesn't have any armor reduction abilities, and her only survivability is her invisibility, which you run out of very quickly because you're constantly meleeing enemies. So you're basically just going in and out of invis very, very quickly, and then hopping to and from enemies and applying a whole bunch of status effects. And then of course you have shield gating with Bruce's Spite as well, which works really well, to be honest. However, you are spamming abilities like crazy with this frame, and it's a one-way street for carpal tunnel. It actually, my fingers hurt after playing Voruna for like an hour if I use my certain build. And if you stop killing for 1 second, you will just like get deleted instantly, just instantly deleted. I'm honestly having a lot of fun playing her. She's, like I said, a breath of fresh air, but these are some drawbacks that I have run into while playing her. She's not the best frame for survival if you are solo. Obviously no one really plays solo, but in a group, she's amazing. Absolutely amazing if she's in a group and if she has like a wisp buff, etc, and has enemies distracted. Basically, that's where Voruna shines. Overall, a solid frame, but has some drawbacks if not built correctly, and you do need quite a bit of investment to make her decent for high level content. An alternative that you can do is you can actually build her with gloom instead of armor stripping to get a little bit more survivability. That works as well too, but I find that I just prefer to do armor stripping because I kill things faster. What I've changed for my build is I dropped Arcane Energize and I put on Arcane Fury or Arcane Strike to give that extra boost, because the energy sustain with Voruna is more than adequate with Equilibrium and her third ability. Now, another quick thing that I want to go over is putting Archon Shards onto Voruna, which I've done. As you can see, I put 5 Amber Archon Shards on. I know you're going to be like, why? But just hear me out. So first of all, I put on a bit of casting speed on there for just quality of life, to be honest with you. And I actually find that it works out to be quite nice to have this extra casting speed on Voruna, because A, you can cast Terrify faster, and B, you can kind of just cast your abilities slightly faster. The animations are actually pretty much the same, but that extra casting speed I find for Terrify to save you when it comes to shield gating is so nice. Like, really nice to have. It's a great quality of life. Then, I put on Parkour Velocity. And I know you're going to be thinking, why? But just for the memes. Voruna's first ability's passive gives you parkour velocity, which, as you can see, is pretty damn fast if you just go like this. But now if you put on more parkour velocity, look how fast you move to the map. So, yeah. You zoom to the map. That's what happens. And it is actually so much fun to do this. And I can get across the map really quickly. Let's say someone's at extraction and I'm on stream busy talking too much. I could just zoom straight over. I'll be there in a couple of seconds. You can fly through a map really fast by doing this. And just putting a few Archon Shards on. You can put whichever Archon Shards you would like. It's really up to you. But to be honest, these for me suit so well. And I think it's perfect. I think Voruna with Archon Shards definitely makes a big difference in her playstyle and how you play her. So that's the video, guys. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know if you guys would have built her differently or built her melee builds differently, and if there's any weapon suggestions as well. I'd be really interested to hear what you guys have to say about that. I hope you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to see some more content. I will see you all in the next one.